Looks like we're about to live stream. The Zoom is loading. Let's go. My name is Tom Lavecchia. Welcome to the latest edition of the New Theory podcast. God, I haven't said that in a while. Usually it's the NBA Buttman with my co-host John Panisi. Today, I have a very, very special guest on the show, on the New Theory show. I get used to saying that again. Bill Staxx, who was on the other show, and has a very interesting story. Bill Staxx, welcome to the New Theory podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
It's truly my pleasure. So I want to talk about a few things. So let's give a little bit of your backstory, because the New Theory crowd is a little different than the NBA and Buttman crowd. Give us a little bit of your background and tell us about what makes you you.
Yeah, so I grew up in Bristol, Connecticut, 42. And, I grew up with a single mom and stepfather. And I gravitated towards the streets. I wanted to be around these people that were causing trouble. I got arrested at a young age. And I joined the gang when I was 15 years old. I was in the gang for a few years. I was getting in trouble. I got a big case, home invasion case, and I ended up getting 2.5 years in prison. So,
wait, how old were you when that happened?
When I caught the home invasion, I was 17.
Jesus. So at 17, right? You're obviously doing some crazy stuff. Do you think, were you always respectfully a little bit of a bad kid on the wrong path? Or were you always kind of a good kid and you kind of strayed when you hit your teens?
Nah, I was always bad, man. Always getting in trouble, always causing problems. It was always a problem.
Now as a grown man, why do you think that is?
When I was young, I don't know what it was, but when I was really young, I used to want to die. And I don't know why. I don't know if maybe I was dealing with some mental issues, but I always felt like I wasn't worthy. And my stepfather used to tell me I wasn't ever going to be nothing. And he was like real physically abusive. Jeez. So when I was young, I used to close my eyes and be like, I hope I don't wake up and things like that. Or, I'm like a little kid. I'm trying to drink bleach and it was just bad things like that. And I don't know what.
You were doing like real self-harm.
Yeah. Cutting myself and all that stuff. And I was a little kid, man, doing that.
So rough upbringing, gets an arrest at 17. What happened? How long did you have to do a bid? What happened at that point?
So I did about 2 years in prison there. I went to the jail for kids. And that was rough. I'm a white kid. So I'm a white kid from Bristol. So it wasn't like I had friends in there. I didn't have nobody. So it was a lot of fighting. A lot of going to SAG, getting out, fighting. It was constant. And then finally they said they got in contact with my mother and they said, do you think if we give them a job, things will change? Yeah. And she said, let's try it. And they gave me a job and I calmed down and I started getting comfortable in that jail. It was MYI. And from there, I got transferred to an adult prison. And it was like, wow, I can't believe like this is my life. And it wasn't like I was going to be there forever, but I just couldn't believe that I made it there. And I didn't feel like it was ever going to stop,
So you serve your sentence. How old are you when you get out? Like you're out free and clear?
Free and clear, 20, 21, around there.
So did you go right back into crime or did you try to fly straight for a little bit?
No, right back into the madness. But by this time now, I went out and got my license. I tried to go the straight and narrow road. Like I went and got a job framing houses, but I started hanging around the strip club and things just like, you start drinking every day. I caught a DUI. One of my friends got killed by the police.
Hey.
And when that happened, I didn't care about nothing. I caught a DUI. I got out of jail for that. And a couple months later, I caught another one. Like I was catching cases constantly. And
So your 20s were basically riddled between in and out of jail, more or less.
yeah, 20s and 30s.
And 30s. So in retrospect, I mean, like, and again, there's a whole nother discussion about jail reform, but what was it? Did you learn lessons along the way? Like, obviously you did go down the wrong path, going out of jail, and I'll put the link for when you were on our other show, and that'll give great context about some of your jail time. But I want to kind of get to when you're going through all this, and you left a gang and joined a gang and left a gang. What was that epiphany, or what happened when you realized you had to straighten your life out?
So, I mean, there was little things along the year, throughout the years, like sitting down with my grandmother and having like real heart-to-heart talks and stuff. Like she would tell me, Bill, you only get one chance at life. Like this is your opportunity to do what you want to do. And I never looked at the future. Like I never thought I'm gonna have a house, I'm gonna have this and that. I never had a direction. I never had anyone to tell me.
And then maybe
like,
a lack of self-worth that you even deserved it.
I think a lot of it had to do with self-worth, because I really didn't start caring about myself until recently,
So what was it one big teachable moment, like maybe like close to an overdose, a
Yeah,
serious
it was an overdose. The last time I used drugs was almost 3 years ago. Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday will be 3 years. And thank you. I overdosed in my mother's bathroom.
Wow.
And I was on the phone with someone at the time, and I did some dope. I fell out, like so I wasn't breathing. My mother noticed that I wasn't like just coming out of the bathroom. She's like panicking. She found me like that.
Jesus.
And she called 911. When I was waking up, they were putting me in the ambulance. And seeing her like so scared like that, and then I went to rehab after that, and I really got to look at what I was doing, because I didn't care about me. I didn't have any feelings about what I was doing to people. I didn't understand the pain that I was causing my mother, my daughter, other people in my life that cared about me, because I didn't even care about myself enough to see that,
Wow. So that caused like kind of a teachable moment to change, right? So then 3 years is a long time. Congratulations. How have you stayed clean?
I go to meetings.
NA or AA?
I go to AA because it's the root of my problem.
Good point.
Like drinking. Like if I have one drink, I off to the races, man. And I have a drink and I'm not the same person. People tell me I turn into somebody else.
Yeah.
And I don't miss it at all. I don't think about it no more. I mean, sometimes things get bad in life and I'm like, damn, like I would like to have a release, but I don't need that type of release because I know where it's going to lead me.
Correct.
No.
What about following the program? Did you have to go back to a lot of people to make amends and ask for forgiveness, or were you like, did you not have a trail of bodies and that you had to say sorry to?
I really didn't have a lot of people in my life when I was in the process of getting clean.
Yeah.
My mother is the major person that I had to really make up to her for all the things that I've done. And I think the last 3 years with me leading by example and not getting high and going to get my license back, and I'm on a good path. Like when my mother caught cancer, she called me like, Bill, can you come back home? I need you to come and just be around to help me out. And I said, yeah. So me and my girlfriend at the time ended up breaking up. I came back home, and I'm glad that I could be here for her. She lets me use her car whenever she wants. I'll take her bank card and go to the bank. She trusts me with that. It's like little things like that. It means the world to me. And now I have my daughter back in my life.
God bless.
And,
how old is your daughter?
16.
God bless.
Yeah, man. And it's great to have her back in my life, and my mother, and people like look at me with respect. They don't look at me like I don't wake up in the morning like, oh, what did I do last night? What did I say? It's a total different life, and things really can change for you if you give yourself a chance.
What are your sources of strength? Is it your daughter, your mom? Like what are your sources of strength that keep you going?
My daughter and my mom are a major source for me. But me doing something different and trying to help people, and maybe if I could help one person on here, that's the reason why I started this whole YouTube thing.
Yeah.
I want to try to help people. The mob realm is the way I went, because a lot of people are interested in the mob, and the mob tube thing is really blowing up lately.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people jumping on it.
Before I want to get to that in a second, because I want to plug your show, but let's just say I'm listening and I have a problem, or I have a family member who has a problem. What's your advice to those people before we get on to about your show?
So if you're like in the midst of addiction and alcoholism, the best thing to do is probably reach out to someone that has the same problem as you, that has gone through it, and that is maybe in recovery, and that can direct you towards the way you want to go. If you want to do meetings, there's all kinds of different ways to get clean.
Yeah.
I mean, there's medication, there's meetings, there's faith-based groups, there's you can just meditate. There's all kinds of different ways you can do it. And I'm just thankful that I'm able to be clean. I went to a meeting today, and I get a lot of insight from those. I hear a lot of good things. I'm not in the meetings like speaking a lot. I like to sit back and really listen to what people say and put myself in their situation. And I'm so far ahead to where I used to be in life, and I never thought I would be at a place like this. I thought I would always be in and out of prison. I thought I had life on the installment plan. I never thought I'd get my license back. Like a lot of things like that. It's small things that really mean something,
Yeah, and that's amazing. And the fact that you cherish it is, again, also incredible. Now, let's talk about your show. I can't imagine you thought of yourself when you were in jail. When I get out, I'm going to be a YouTuber. Tell us a little bit about the show and some of the stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, so my show is Chattin with Staxx, and it's where I interview ex-mob dudes.
There you go.
And
for those audio people, he has a shirt on that says "I interview mob dudes," which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
there you go. Like it.
And I interview ex-mafia guys. I interview ex-gang members. I'll pretty much interview anybody. I like to interview people that have been through something in their life and that are doing positive things now and that are in a good direction. I've interviewed some big names like Frank Calabrese Jr., Larry Mazza, Jimmy A-Light, whole bunch of different people, man.
Yeah, in that space, you got some pretty big names. And the cool thing I like about you is, and your interviewing skills are getting there, which I love. I see you progressing, but your ability to get like pretty good relevant guests for your genre. How do you do it? You just tenacious and like keep emailing them, or you get some good guests?
Yeah, well, one of my tricks is, and you guys could take this and you could say I gave you something. When you talk to people, you got to give them something without giving them something.
True.
So you say, hey, I have a show and I'm trying to, change people's lives, and I'll work around your schedule. It's not all about me. It's not all about my show. So when I reach out to people, I make it about them, because I'm genuinely interested and intrigued by their stories, and I want to hear their stories. That's why I don't do too much research on the people that I have on, because I want to get to know them as I'm interviewing them.
What are some of the learnings and stuff that, because I started the podcast, and I think it's from my co-host, John. It's a way of therapy in a way, because at the time I was going through a lot of stuff, and I just wanted to talk to people and learn. It was like a great way to engage. And I'm like, even if nobody listens, obviously want to help out one person, even or thousands of people. But if I don't, a secondary goal was, hey, maybe I can extract something from this. What are some of the things that you learned from your podcast?
Man, I learned a whole bunch of things. Like, I mean, I'm in the process of learning things now. Like, I learn things every day. Like, like when these people come at me, there's a lot of haters out there. And you know, in my past is my past.
Yeah.
And there's videos of me fighting in the past, me getting into altercations, and that's just not who I am anymore. I mean, you can look at those videos and say and make a judgment about me if you want, but that's like beyond, way beyond who I am now. Like that's not who I am anymore. And obviously I have a past and people are going to see that, but I learned to not lash out as fast as I have. Even like last week, that dude Flea Cole, he had me on his show. Yeah. And he started bringing up some personal things, my daughter and all this, and I got really mad. And I started saying,
I caught wind of it because somebody told me about it. I saw the rerun of it, but I can't. I'm not a big fan of Flea Cole, so I don't really watch it. But he really got on like about you and your family.
Yeah, well, he started talking about my daughter. Oh, is it true you got a restraining order against you with your daughter? I mean, me and my daughter's mother went through our issues. Yeah. And, you know, we had a separation and we got into a lot of fights. I got arrested. I went to jail over domestic and all that. And I work hard to have my daughter in my life. And she's in my world. I call her every day. Yeah. Like she's everything to me. And people that attack things like that, it's not good, man. Yeah. And I'm learning not to lash out at people and really think first, just like John does on your other show. Like I have to really think of what the other person's going through. Because my rage was building up, man. For like a few weeks ago, I couldn't. Like I almost was ready to quit the whole YouTube thing and be done with it all.
What happened?
It's because of like that, the show with Lee Cole and everybody coming at me and the video, and it was just like getting to be too much. I couldn't deal with it no more. Oh. So I decided to
you can't get a guy like Flea Cole get you upset. You just can't. Like, you know.
No, it wasn't him. It was a combination of a lot of things that were like, is all this worth it anymore? And I really thought about it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna let all these things deter me from what I was doing. Like I was on track, and it was just getting me sidetracked, and I'm not gonna let that happen anymore.
Got it. All right. Listen, we full disclosure, everybody. I was on his show streaming for about an hour and a half. I'm gonna have Bill on again. I wanted to get him on kind of while the iron was hot. I'm going to air this right away. I'll send a link to your Staxx and we'll co-promote it. But I kind of want to do a follow-up because I want to deep dive a little bit into, I know you said you had a teachable moment and I know you kind of turned it around, but I kind of want to deep dive into like really how you did it so people can really attach themselves to that. And then number two is when you did turn things around, what were some of the positive things that you did? And you know, talk a little bit about your progress. So I think it should be celebrated, you know?
Yeah, because there's I want to just say real quick, I work with an organization called Brian's Angels. Yes. And she is the lady that she had a son that was addicted to heroin. He ended up committing suicide. Wow. And she dedicated her life to helping homeless people that have drug problems. And she helped me when I was in my situation. So it's only right that I go back, I volunteer with her, I help clean up the community. I try to help raise money so she can get her own place to help these people. And I try to do the best I can. You know, I don't have much, but whatever I have, I'm willing to give it to people to help, you know.
That's amazing. And on top of it, I remember we announced it on the other show and there was like a non-stoner and people were supportive. So I'll be sure to find, give me that link. I'll drop that as well. And listen, enjoy your night, man. We're gonna have a part 2 soon. And Staxx, how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Staxx, Bill Staxx 2021, or you can go to YouTube and it's Chattin with Staxx Show, Chattin, STA, or Chattin with Staxx, STAXX.
Love it.
And
Yeah.
thank you, man. I really appreciate you.
It's my pleasure. So, like I said, we're going to be on audio. We're going to upload it to the YouTube. It is a little live. But we're going to upload it to YouTube as well. Checking out. Well, I'm happy to be back in the New Theory podcast. It's been a minute. Shout out to some sponsors, JSV Capital. Check them out for your merch and cash advance needs. And a shout out to Ratchet UK. So thank you.